So, we are back with another tier list, and thanks to a comment that I saw, okay, attempt ELP. Good luck. Guess what? I went back through their albums, and so we're doing ELP. Emerson, Lake, and Palmer. I love these guys. I saw Carl Palmer perform in November of 2022. I own 3 of their records, their self-titled one, Trilogy, and Pictures at an Exhibition. Now I'm going to rank them, their studio albums. I was wondering if I was going to do Pictures at an Exhibition, because it's not a studio record, it's a live album, right? And I'm not a fan of live albums. I'd rather see a concert than listen to one, you know? But I have some exceptions, and this one is one of my exceptions. And then I opened this tier list and I saw, hey, they included it here. So, studio records plus that. Let's get into it. Starting off with a interesting one, Black Moon. I'll put this one C tier. It's not awful. You know, when I first heard this, I thought it's pretty 80s. It was released in like 92 or 93. So it's way behind with that gated reverb sound of like a stadium rock kind of sound. I've only heard this album twice. And unless I decide to listen to the entire discography again, I don't see myself coming back to this record. It's very okay. I like their cover of Romeo and Juliet. That's fun. That's the only thing I really remember from the album. I think I liked 1 or 2 other songs, and that's really all there is to say about this one. Wow, here already, Brain Salad Surgery. This is my favorite, and I'm sure it's a lot of people's favorites. I love this one, and it's really because of Carnival 9. But I mean, it's got Benny the Bouncer. It's got the toccata, which is really cool. It's got the electric drums in it. I think that's neat. It's one of the best records to come out of the 70s, maybe ever. And I'm a music nerd. And this music, especially this album, is very, very, very music nerd friendly. It's like begging to be analyzed and torn apart and every little piece looked at. I love doing that. That's that. Another banger. Emerson, Lake, and Palmer. Another S. This doesn't have any even mid songs. I think they're all fantastic. The Barbarian's a great start. Take a Pebble, one of their best. The Three Fates is another great one. Lucky Man. How could you not love that song? It's just the perfect beginning. Next is In the Hot Seat. I'm going to put that in C tier above Black Moon, because even though I remember that there's the Romeo and Juliet cover on Black Moon, I don't know, it just had a better vibe. That's all I can really say about this record, is that they, the vibe that they were going for in Black Moon, it just worked better. It's like they tried something and then they tried it again, and this time it wasn't as much of an experiment, so they kind of knew what to do. Still C, because I mean, come on, it's kind of these 2 C albums are kind of boring, but it's Emerson, Lake, and Palmer. Seriously? They mature, and yet it feels like they did they're like the opposite of the Beatles. They just started writing radio hits, you know? And I don't think any of them were radio hits. Like Genesis, on the other hand, didn't have a hit until they started writing radio hits. These guys had hits. These guys had hits with their experimental phase. So I don't know why they changed. It might have just been studio interference. Like, if you want to make more music, it's got to be a radio hit. and they caved. I don't know. Oh boy. As you can see, there's no F on this tier list because this isn't an F. It's definitely a D. Love Beach. What can I say about this album? The only thing is that there is still an epic on it for some reason, and it's not good. It's like, okay, it's boring. I listen to it and I'm like, it's one of those songs where it's like, it just is too long. It's too long. Even though I was just praising the song that's like 36 minutes long and this one's only 20. It's not like anything to write home about. And the reason why I love these long form songs, I love a prog epic. I love it because you take talented musicians, talented songwriters, and they flesh out the music as much as possible. They milk it for all it's worth, and it's delicious. This is maybe a 10-minute song, 8-minute song, not 20. Oh, I was doing something else while listening to this album, and I was like, this is background noise. This isn't doing anything for me. It was fine background noise. That's why I didn't add an F to this tier list. It's just a D. It passes as an album. That's about all. That's all I'll say about that. Pictures at an exhibition. You are going in S tier. This is fantastic. This album here is just the pinnacle of music coming together. A rock band covering a classical suite, including their own improvisation in between passages. This is wonderful. I'm glad this is here so that I can just talk about how wonderful this album is. It's so good. The Promenade, the Gates of Kiev finale is so good, and you get some of the wonderful craziness from Keith. You get some added lyrics from Greg Lake, and Carl Palmer is there the entire time, just on top of the beat, going nuts. Tarkus. Another thing that's so good is the title track. Side 1 is It's There 2112. Before 2112 existed, you had Tarkus. And it works so well. I saw Carl Palmer play this one live, one of the ones that I could not forget. I'm speechless, which is why I'm going to talk about side 2, because side 2 kind of drops the ball. I'm going to be honest. It picks it up near the end. The last couple of songs are good. I like them. The hymn kind of doesn't do it for me. Jeremy Bender doesn't do it for me. There's 3 songs here that don't do it for me. And Tarkus belongs in S tier for Tarkus, but it belongs in A tier for the rest. It feels like they had their concept song, they did their side, and they didn't really know where else to go with the album. They just had some loose ideas that they threw in there. I don't know what was going on. Like I said, I like some of them, but the other ones just don't do it for me. So, yeah, but I can't go lower than A because of that title track. Trilogy. Top of A. I'm tempted to put this in S tier, but S is kind of full. I don't know what to say about this album. I love it, but it doesn't reach the heights of the S tier, Trilogy. Abaddon's Bolero is probably my favorite off the album. Hoedown is fun. They have a lot of fun tunes, right? But, and besides Trilogy, Abaddon's Bolero, The Endless Enigma, maybe From the Beginning as well, those are four amazing tunes. The rest, Hoedown's great with an asterisk. I'm not too fond of that one. I'm not too fond of the rest of the album, but I think the album as a whole works better than Tarkus. I think, yeah. Works Volume 1. Hey, it's just got one weak side. It's four sides. Three of them are fantastic. And there's one side, which is the side completely written by Greg Lake that I couldn't get really into. And if it were just the two sides, I'd put this in B. Right? But it's four whole sides. And you get this fantastic concerto, piano concerto number 1 for side 1. It's breathtaking. I love it. The first movement, it's all right, but the allegro and the toccata at the end, tasty. And then you have Carl Palmer's side. See, it's got some great blues shuffles on there. It's got a couple great covers. And then they redid Tank from the first record, and with an orchestra this time. And honestly, I like it way better. And then finally it ends with the best side on the record, side 4, Fanfare for the Common Man. It's wonderful. It's so upbeat, catchy. You wouldn't expect them to go that way for the tune, but they did. And then Pirates, what a song. I was not expecting this swashbuckling adventure. I saw Pirates and it's like 13 minutes and I'm like, I don't know about this one, and I heard it and I love it. Wonderful. It's just wonderful. It's one of their best. Works Volume 2. It's a weird way. It's a weird note to end this one on. It's a B. It's all right. Maple Leaf Rag is fun. Show Me the Way to Go Home is fun, especially being such a big fan of Jaws. When I saw that, I was like, this better be what I think it is. And it was satisfying. It was a great way to end. But, and I know people make this complaint. And for most of their records, they kind of dip their toes into different genres, different vibes. This one does it too, but not well. It feels like where I would say the other ones are a myriad of tone and genre. This is more of a collage. It's kind of all over the place. And there's not a song I don't like, but as an album as a whole, and looking into it, because the concept of Works Volume 1, I thought they have to do it again. Apparently, it's a bunch of B-sides and cut content, which I'm happy they released. I'm glad that they did not sit on these tunes. I'm glad they didn't shelve these tunes, that they're out there. It's just okay, even good. I'll call it good because I refer to all these albums as great, and S, they're fantastic, right? So it's fair to call this one good. I don't know. Coming off of Works Volume 1, going directly into this one, I was just like, oh, this is not at the same level. Anyway, This is my tier list, guys. What do you think? What should have gone in S? What shouldn't have gone in S? Should I add an F tier and throw Love Beach in there? Tell me in the comments below, and tell me in the comments what I should do next. I'm thinking about Rush. I'm thinking about Dream Theater. I'm thinking about King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, though I'm going to have to wait because they just decided to release another album. I'm I don't know how to say goodbye. I'm very bad at saying goodbyes. I'm like the king of Italian goodbyes. So, honestly, you could just click off right now. You know, it's completely valid to do so because it's not going to be a satisfying ending after this. How about I just stare? Wait for you to leave. Go away. I'm kidding. I have to end this eventually. See you next time.